Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel, English Listening. And I'm so excited to have you here. On this channel, you'll find a variety of content designed to help you improve your English listening skills. Whether you're a beginner or looking to perfect your advanced skills, there's something here for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any of our new videos. Feel free to leave comments and let me know what topics you'd like to see covered. How to improve your English reading skills, reading comprehension, or your ability to understand what you read, is a key skill that should be trained to make sure that you understand the words on the pages whenever you read an English book. While reading more is one way to work on your comprehension, there are tips and methods you can implement to make your reading more effective. This article will help you improve your English reading skills with proven strategies for smarter, more efficient reading practice. 1. Make special time to read. If you're reading to improve your comprehension, you need to focus and study. This means making a special time for reading without the risk of being interrupted. You should try to spend at least 30 minutes every day on focused reading. To turn your reading process into a ritual, find a quiet, comfortable spot with bright lighting to sit. Get everything you might need ready before you sit down, such as a pen, notebook, and something to drink. Decide how long you will read. Put all your electronics on silent mode, or turn them off and put them away. If you have a specific process for reading practice, then your brain will know when you're about to work on your comprehension. As a result, you'll be more focused before you even start. 2. Use a good dictionary. If you're a beginner learner, choose an English dictionary that translates words into your native language. There are also learners' dictionaries, which explain words using simple terms. For more advanced learners, I recommend using a monolingual dictionary, one that has definitions only in English with no translations. Monolingual dictionaries force you to think in English rather than relying on your native language. For a dictionary that translates English into multiple languages, check out Word Reference. It covers dozens of languages, such as French, German, Russian, Japanese, and Dutch. Word Reference also has a monolingual English dictionary. 3. Use context clues. Just because you find a good dictionary doesn't mean you should look up every single new word. Using context clues means trying to understand a new word by looking at what's around it. If you're stuck on a word you don't know, try looking at the whole sentence for a hint about what it means. Don't stop to look up every new word. It's harder to focus on your reading if you keep interrupting it. You can write down the word and look it up later. Only look up a word if, without it, you can't understand what you're reading. 4. Learn to read English with the right books. When you're choosing books and other texts to read, keep two things in mind. A. What you're interested in. B. Your reading level. Whenever you can, you should read things that you enjoy. You should also choose books that are at an English level just above the one you're most comfortable with. You want to challenge yourself enough to learn new things, but not so much that you are frustrated with your reading. You can use this test from the British Council's Learn English website to get a general idea of your reading level. Beginners should aim for texts specifically made for beginner learners. These include dialogues, short readings about common topics, or children's books. Intermediate learners can read longer texts, news articles, and popular novels with simpler language. Advanced learners can read almost anything, but should approach some classic literature such as Shakespeare's plays with caution. Not sure where to start? There are lots of places online where you can find recommendations for books to learn English reading. Listopia on Goodreads is full of lists created by people just like you. What should I read next? Gives you book recommendations based on a book that you like or even a list of your favorites. Jellabooks helps you discover new books and sample 10%, which means you can try the book and see if it's a good fit for you. Which book is a very different kind of website. You choose the kinds of things you're looking for in a book: happy, sad, beautiful, disgusting, and the website gives you suggestions based on that. 5. Check the difficulty level. once you've picked a book, double-check its difficulty level by making sure that it has no more than 10% unknown words. Count the number of words on a page or paragraph, and then count the number of words you don't recognize. Divide the number of unknown words by the number of total words, multiply by 100, and you'll see what percentage of words you don't know. Here's a rough guide: 0 to 2% new words. The text is too easy for you. 4% to 6% new words. The text is just right. 8% new words. This text might be too hard for you. You might try it anyway if it's something you really want to read. 10% or more in new words. This text is too hard right now. Set it aside for later when you've learned more English words. 6. Do both intensive and extensive reading. There are two kinds of English reading that you have to practice: intensive reading and extensive reading. Intensive reading is when you try to understand every word on the page. This is the kind of reading you do when you have some time to focus. Most of the tips below are about how to make the most out of intensive reading. When you practice intensive reading, pick a fairly short text that interests you. If you have a really long text, or you just don't care about the topic, you might give up before you finish. Aside from intensive reading, you also need to do extensive reading, which simply means casually reading anything you see in English. Don't stress. Don't worry about what every word means. Read a new recipe. Read an email. Read a blog post. Read billboards along the highway. Read newspaper headlines. It doesn't matter what you read, just read in English. Anything. Everything. The more extensive reading you do, the more comfortable you'll be with reading in English. 7. Read more smoothly with sight words. Fluency is how smoothly you can read. When you read in your head, you should have a certain rhythm to the words, understanding full sentences rather than going one word at a time. The words should flow together naturally, like when somebody is talking. To improve your fluency, look out for sight words. These are words that you should know by sight and should not have to think about how to read them. Find a good list of sight words, like this one, and take about a minute or two every day to read the words as fast as you can. 8. Get familiar with English spelling conventions. English spelling often doesn't reflect the actual sounds of a word. When you read in English, the voice in your head can get stuck on new words that you don't know how to pronounce. Don't be discouraged. By learning common spelling conventions, that reading voice will maintain the flow of English and you'll improve your overall reading ability. KN. The KN at the beginning of a word is pronounced as simply N, as in the words know and knife. WH. The H in WH words such as what or when is silent and isn't pronounced. C. This letter typically sounds like S before the vowels E, I, or Y, like in the word city. Otherwise, it typically sounds like K, like in the word cat. 9. Focus on repeated words. It's important to be smart about which words you look up as you read. I recommend looking up words that are repeated more than 3 times in a passage, or words that appear crucial to the meaning of a sentence. In other words, don't look up every single unknown word while you're reading. Think about it, it'll get boring and break up the flow of reading. When you read a text for the first time, underline or highlight unknown words. Once you're done reading, go back and identify the repeated words and words that are crucial to understanding. Now you can look those up and write down translations or definitions. Finally, read the text again with your word list and watch as you understand the text more fully. 10. Remember vocabulary with flashcards. A great way to build up your vocabulary and reading fluency is to create flashcards of important words. But don't just stop there. Review these flashcards often. While reading, keep your word lists or flashcards handy. You can refer to these if that word comes up again while reading for fast translation. As you come across these words while reading new content, move them to the back of your flashcard pile. This counts as a review, and you don't need to review words if you feel you've already learned them. Anki is a great app for creating your own digital flashcards and accessing them on the go. 11. Make a language journal. Aside from making flashcards, you can use a language journal notebook for practice. In the pages of your journal, try writing sentences with your new English vocabulary. Make your own definition for each English word you've learned. Use colored pencils to draw pictures of what the words mean. Every once in a while, look back at older pages in your language journal. Review words to keep your memories of them strong. And feel proud of how much you've learned. 12. Ask yourself questions. Taking notes and asking yourself questions can help you really understand an English text. Before you read, here are a few questions you can ask yourself to prepare. Are there any words in bold or italics? Are there titles or subtitles? What are some of the names mentioned? Is there a lot of dialogue? Are the paragraphs short or long? While you're reading, try asking these questions. What's happening now? Who's speaking here? Why did he do that? What is she thinking? After reading, the questions below can also get you think about what you did and did not understand. What was the text about? What are the most important things that happened in the text? Did anything confuse you? Did anything surprise you? Are there any parts you didn't understand? Thanks for watching, and let's get started on this exciting journey of mastering English listening. See you in the next video.